1.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Thank you all at home for watching this meeting this evening. Today's date is Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, and tonight's meeting is a Town Board voting meeting as well as a Town Board work session. We have one item on the special work session this evening, and we have 9 Town Board voting resolutions as well as a public hearing at the beginning of the meeting. So before we get started, as always, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Would everybody please rise? And Councilman Lombardi, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for we stand for a moment of silence to remember those men and women who are fighting for our freedom and our way of life, both at home and abroad.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Okay, once again, this is a Town Board public voting meeting and work session. At 6 p.m., the Town Board met in executive session, discussed the 62420 vendor presentations for downtown Mahopac concept design proposals. We discussed the 3 engineering firms that submitted proposals for that project. And the second item was a personnel matter to discuss the Chief of Police's position, which will be vacant as of July 31st of this month. Chief Kazari, who's been with us for many, many years, has decided to retire and spend more time with his family and pursue other ventures. So the chief is going to be leaving, so the board had discussed how we're going to go about filling that vacancy. And we have a plan, and we're going to move forward with that plan within the next couple of weeks. You'll be hearing more about the board's intentions and the process that we're going to follow to name a successor to Chief Kazari's role as Chief of Police. So for the record, all Town Board members are present with us this evening, as is our Town Clerk, Ann Spofford, with us tonight for the public hearing and the voting meeting. And Greg Fulchetti, our Carmel Town Council, as always, is with us as well. Mary Ann Maxwell, the Town Comptroller, is in attendance, and also Rich Franzetti, the Town Engineer, is here tonight. Thank you all for being here. So the public hearing this evening is a public hearing upon a certain map plan and report, including a revised estimate of cost in relation to the proposed increase in improvements of the facilities of the Carmel Water District number 2, 9, and 14. These are, these are water storage tanks, rehabs and replacements, in some cases, of the actual tank. So this is for the borrowing of funding for those, move those projects forward. So without further ado, I'm going to ask the Town Clerk, Ann Spofford, to please read the notice of the public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, will meet at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue in Mahopac, New York, on July 1st, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. prevailing time for the purpose of conducting a public hearing upon a certain map plan and report, including a revised estimate of cost in relation to the proposed increase and improvement of the facilities of Carmel Water Districts number 2, 9, and 14 in said town, consisting in each district of the construction of improvements to the district water tank or shared water tank and related equipment and site improvements, including original furnishing, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and incidental improvements, and expenses in connection therewith, at a revised maximum estimated cost of $2,762,615 to Carmel Water District number 2, an increase of $1,200,000, $40,184 to Carmel Water District number 9, an increase of $22,500, and $431,063 to Carmel Water District number 14, an increase of $40,000. Said capital projects have been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the regulations of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, the implementation of which, as proposed, said regulations provide will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. The map plan and report are available in the office of the town clerk where they may be inspected during regular business hours. At said public hearing, said town board will hear all persons interested in the subject matter thereof. The town board will make every effort to assure that the public hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the town clerk. Dated Mahopac, New York, June 11, 2020, by order of the town board of the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, Ann Spofford, town clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for that reading of the notice of the public hearing. At this time, I need a motion to open the public hearing. So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, at this time, the public hearing is open. Is there any members of the public that would like to come up and comment on this item? Please come up at this time.
Being none,
Okay, there being none.
move to close the public.
Okay, Councilman Lombardi moved to close the public hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public hearing is now closed, so we're going to move on to resolution number 1, the public interest order in the matter of the increase in improvements of the facilities of Carmel Water Districts 2, 9, and 14 in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York. Councilman Shannell, would you please read resolution number 1?
Whereas by order heretofore adopted, the town board of the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, authorized an increase and improvement of the facilities of Carmel Water District Number 2, 9, and 14 in said town, consisting of, in each district, of the construction and improvements to the district water tank and shared water tank and related equipment and site improvements, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewithin, at a maximum estimated cost of $1,562,615 to Carmel Water District 2, $17,684 to Carmel Water District Number 9, and $391.63 to Carmel Water District Number 14. And whereas by order dated June 10, 2020, said town board called a public hearing for July 1st, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. on the question of the increase in the maximum estimated cost thereof to $2,762,615 for Carmel Water District Number 2, an increase of $1,240,184 for Carmel Water District Number 9, an increase of $22,500, and $431,063 for Carmel Water District Number 14, an increase of $40,000. And whereas notice of said public hearing was duly published in the manner and within the time provided by law, and such public hearing was duly held at the time and place specified in said notice, at which all persons interested in the subject matter thereof were duly heard. And whereas said town board has duly considered the evidence given at said public hearing, now therefore be it ordered by the town board of the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, as follows. Section 1, upon the evidence given at the aforesaid public hearing, it is hereby found and determined that it is in the public interest to make the increase and improvement of the facilities of Carmel Water District Number 2, 9, and 14 in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, in the manner described in the preamble hereof, at a new maximum estimate cost of $2,762,615 for Carmel Water District Number 2, $40,184 for Carmel Water District Number 9, and $431,063 for Carmel Water District Number 14. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannell.
Aye.
Councilman
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to resolution number 2, authorizing the issuance of an aggregate amount of $1,262,500 in bonds of the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, to pay additional cost of the increase in improvements of facilities of Carmel Water Districts Number 2, 9, and 14 in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read Resolution 2, please?
Sure. Whereas pursuant to the provisions heretofore duly had and taken in accordance with the provisions of Section 202-B of the Town Law, and more particularly an order dated the date hereof, said Town Board has determined it to be in the public interest to improve the facilities of Carmel Water Districts Number 2, 9, and 14 in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, being in each such district the construction of improvements to the district water tank or shared water tank and related equipment and site improvements, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith at a revised aggregate maximum estimated cost of $1,262,500, allocated between such districts as described therein. And whereas the capital project hereinafter described as proposed has been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617.5C2 of the regulations of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which as such will not have any significant adverse impacts on the environment. And whereas it is now desired to authorize such capital project and its financing, now therefore be it resolved that by the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York as follows. Section 1, for the class of objects or purposes of paying the additional cost of the increase and improvement of Carmel Water Districts Number 2, 9, and 14 in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, consisting in each district of the construction of improvements to the district water tank or shared water tank and related equipment and site improvements, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith. There are hereby authorized to be issued $1,262,500 bonds of said town pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law. Section 2, it is hereby determined that the aggregate maximum estimated cost of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is now determined to be $3,233,862, which class of objects or purposes is hereby authorized at said maximum estimated cost, and that the plan for the financing thereof is A, by the issuance of the $1,971,362 bonds of $2,728,390 bonds of said town heretofore authorized to be issued pursuant to bond resolution dated and duly adopted August 21st, 2019. And B, the issuance of the $1,262,500 bonds of said town authorized to be issued pursuant to this bond resolution. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 40 years pursuant to subdivision 1 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law, calculated from the date of issuance for the first obligations therefore. It is hereby further determined that the maximum maturity of the serial bonds herein authorized will exceed 5 years. Section 4, the faith and credit of said town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds becoming due and payable in such year. To the extent not paid from monies raised from the said Carmel Water Districts Number 2, 9, and 14 in the manner provided by law, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of said town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same become due and payable. Section number 5, subject to the provisions of the local finance law, the power to authorize the issuance of and to sell bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance and sale of the serial bonds herein authorized, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer. Such notes shall be of such terms, form, and contents, and shall be sold in such manner as may be prescribed by the supervisor, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law.
So you want me to pick up, or you good? You wanna keep going?
I can keep going.
You want to keep going?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
but
Go
not for
ahead.
the whole
Just
thing, no.
Okay,
This is a
I could have
freaking
summarized
tongue
it.
twister.
If you asked, I could have done it.
Section
Drink
number
water.
6, the powers and duties of advertising such bonds for sale, conducting for the sale and order of bonds are hereby delegated to the supervisor, who shall advertise such bonds for sale, conduct the sale, and award the bonds in such manner as he shall deem best for the interests of said town, including but not limited to the power of, to sell said bonds to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, provided, however, that in the exercise of these delegated powers, the supervisor shall comply fully with the provisions of the local finance law and any order or rule of the state comptroller applicable to the sale of municipal bonds. The receipt of the supervisor shall be in a full acquittance to the purchaser of such bonds, who shall be obliged to see to the application of the purchase money. Kenny,
Yeah?
couldn't I have shortened this?
Aren't you done?
No,
done that, right?
Kenny's number section, section
what section?
7. Section
You
7.
want me to pick it up?
I lost
Yep.
the page.
I'm starting at section 7? Okay.
I'm done.
If you want to, you can summarize the remainder of it if you want.
Go ahead, summarize it.
Basically, it's an increase in the borrowing that was previously authorized for Carmel Water Districts number 2, number 9, and number 14, with an aggregate maximum estimated cost of $1,262,500. And that's really all you have to say.
Gee, thank
you
you,
can
Greg.
say-
So I'm
Okay.
second, I would like to propose
You can
what-
adopt
I would
council's
like to
motion
adopt
and
said.
as
and
pre-filed.
propose what Mr. Fulchetti
Second.
said.
And as pre-filed.
And
so-
as pre-filed with the town clerk.
There you go.
Okay.
I wish you told me this before I started
You could have
reading it.
asked. It would have been simple. Usually I get asked on the bond
I know.
resolutions.
Cheat sheet,
Okay. All right.
Go yell at Doug.
I made the
You
motion.
made the motion?
He
And you
seconded.
Okay, motion made by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Why'd you wait so long to ask Greg that?
I thought it was short like Bob's.
All right. So that completes the public hearing and the resolutions for this evening associated with that public hearing. I need a motion to close the.
So moved.
Close the public
Second.
hearing. So moved by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Shannon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Closing? Aye. Okay, now I need a motion to open the town board voting meeting.
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the town board voting meeting is now open. First item is to accept town board minutes of June 10th, 2020. I need a motion to accept those.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
To accept? Aye. Okay. Resolution number 1 is a resolution waiving the notice requirement of Section 64 of the New York State Alcohol Beverage Control Law with respect to a liquor license for Brooklyn Organic Kitchen. Councilman Shannon, would you read number 1, please?
Whereas the representatives and/or proprietors of Brooklyn Organic Kitchen, 890 South Lake Boulevard, New York, 10541, have advised of the intention to apply for an on-premise liquor license for which 30 days advance notice of such application must be sent to the municipality, and whereas the notice required by Article 5 of the Alcohol Beverage Control Law may be waived by the town board, and whereas the Town of Carmel Town Board does not intend to comment upon the application referred to herein. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby waives the 30-day notice requirement contained in Article 5 of the Alcohol and Beverage Control Law and states that it does not intend to offer any comments regarding the said application for a liquor license at the premises referred to herein, and be it further resolved that the Town Clerk, Ann Spofford, is hereby authorized to sign a waiver of said notice on behalf of the Town of Carmel. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 2, is a resolution authorizing mailing of the Lake Mahopac Park District newsletter. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 2?
Sure, resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel, acting as the commissioners of the Lake Mahopac Park District, hereby authorizes the mailing of the 2020 newsletter as prepared by the Lake Mahopac Park District Committee to all properties within the district, and further directs that all costs thereof be charged as a district expense. I offer this resolution as read.
Second by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution authorizing a partnership between the Town of Carmel and the Town of Kent for submission of an application, East of Hudson Community Wastewater Planning Assistance Grant Program. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 3?
Whereas the Town of Carmel will partner with the Town of Kent to apply to the New England Interstate Water Pollution Control Commission for a grant under the 2020-2021 East of Hudson Community Wastewater Planning Assistance Grant Program to seek funding to finance an engineering study that will evaluate wastewater solutions for Palmer Lake, and whereas the Town of Kent will be designated as the lead municipality and will produce the required engineering report for Palmer Lake, and whereas the application required dual authorization by both appropriate government bodies in order to submit the application. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel here approves and endorses the Town of Kent's application for $375,000 Community Wastewater Planning Assistance Grant to finance an engineering study that will evaluate wastewater solution for Palmer Lake. And be it further resolved that upon approval of the grant request, Town of Kent will serve as a designated lead municipality and will provide a funding engineering study to NEIWPCC in partnership with the Town of Carmel. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing requests for proposals pursuant to property maintenance law. Councilman Borelli, would you read 4?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in accordance with Chapter 114 of the Town of Carmel Town Code titled Property Maintenance, hereby authorizes Town of Carmel Director of Codes Enforcement, Michael Carnazza, to solicit request proposals for the cleanup and correction of town code violations existing for the properties located at 112 Wixon Pond Road, tax map number 65.5-1-51, and 105 Longdale Road, Town of Carmel tax map 65.14-1-24. To offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution acknowledgement of emergency repairs, Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Shannon, would you read 5, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby acknowledges the emergency repairs performed upon Highway Department Truck Number 53 from Stronghold Industries, Home, New York, as fully detailed in the memorandum from the Town Highway Superintendent Michael Simone to the Town Board dated June 11, 2020, which is attached hereto and made a part thereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution accepting a donation of sick time by Town of Carmel Highway employees. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 6?
Yes. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel approves the donation of 80 hours of sick leave accruals from employee number 1765 to employee number 2791. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution acknowledging performance of emergency repairs, Carmel Water District number 8. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 8, please? I'm sorry, 7.
Resolve the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts in the Town of Carmel, hereby acknowledges the emergency performance of water distribution collection system and treatment facility repair, specifically those performed in Carmel Water District Number 8, as fully detailed in the memorandum of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., to the Town Board dated June 15, 2020, which is attached hereto and made part hereof. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 8 is a resolution authorizing amendment of the contract Carmel Water and Sewer District Operations and Maintenance. Councilman Borelli, would you read 8?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts of the Town of Carmel, has previously entered into a contract with Infomark LLC for the operation and maintenance of Carmel Sewer Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and Carmel Water Districts 2, 3, and 12, dated March 15, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the aforementioned sewer and water districts, hereby authorize amendment of the reference contract with respect to payment of prevailing wage rates for all public work performed under said contract. Said amendment to be in form as attached hereto and made a part hereof. Be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign the aforesaid contract amendment. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, the 9th and final resolution this evening is a resolution authorizing scheduling a public hearing on a local law amending Chapter 156 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Zoning, and that will be scheduled for July 22nd, 2020. The petitioner is Willowwood Country, Inc., DBA Willowwood Gun Club. Councilman Shannell, would you read number 9, please?
Resolution authorizing the scheduling of a public hearing. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the rescheduling of a public hearing to be held on the 22nd of July 2020 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible on a local law amending Chapter 156 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Zoning, and be it further resolved that Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized and instructed to publish and post the necessary notices in the official newspapers of the town and the Town Bulletin Board regarding this public hearing. I offer this resolution as read.
Just a note, that's actually just a scheduling, it's not a rescheduling. So I don't know if you want to amend that. Just a scheduling of it rather than
Just
rescheduling.
Amend the resolution to scheduling and not rescheduling.
Okay, resolved that
Drop
the
the
Town
rate.
Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the scheduling of a public hearing to be held on 22nd of July 2020 at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible on a local law amending Chapter 156 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Zoning, and be it further resolved that the Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized and instructed to publish and post the necessary notices in the official newspapers of the town of, and on the Town Bulletin Board regarding the public hearing. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you, Bob. Susie was a little confused with that reschedule.
Yeah, I crossed it off.
Okay. All right, so that concludes the voting meeting agenda for this evening. Is there any members of the public that are here now that would like to come up and comment on any of the agenda items we covered this evening? Come on up at this time. Okay, there being none, is there anybody here for new business, open forum portion of the voting meeting? Come on up, if there is. If not, we're going to move on. Okay, all right, we're going to move on. So I need a motion to close the voting meeting.
So moved.
I'll make a motion
All
to
right.
close the voting meeting.
All right, motion made by Councilman Shannell to close the voting
Second.
meeting, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I need a motion to open the work session now. So moved by Councilman Lombardi to open
Second.
the work session, seconded by Councilman Shannell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the special work session is now open. John, welcome. Thank you for being here. Yep. John, just hit hit that button on your mic. There you go. You got a green light? Good? You're good. Yep. So, John Fulchetti is here from John Robert Fulchetti and Associates for a presentation of the Carmel Sewer District Number 5 Facility Plan. John, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start with some background on the plant proper, and we'll go into cover the series of events that has led us to having to develop this report. The plant was designed and constructed in the early 1970s. The district serves about 67 homes. It was originally nothing more than a secondary treatment plant. It was a septic tank and a subsurface sand filter. The original sand filter failed in 1999, and a set of BioClear units, the current treatment units that are on site right now, were installed during the 2000 year. DEC modified the permit in 2009 to include ammonia as an effluent parameter. They changed the stream classification in order to do that. And the plant was never designed to remove ammonia. It was just never intended to do that. By 2016, it had stopped. For whatever reason, we started violating the ammonia parameter, and the initial notice of violation was delivered here in November of 2016 with citations for violations during the 2014 year and 2015. Subsequent to that NOV, we undertook a series of sampling protocols via negotiation with DEC in order to see what kind of treatment process we were getting and what kind of results we were getting and what would we have to do in order to modify the plant to remove ammonia. Our sampling indicated that the plant was not meeting its basic design parameters at that time. So we continued to negotiate with the state council, town engineer. Kenny, I think you came to one meeting on that. And we tried a whole host of different tactics, looking at combining with Sewer 6, et cetera, and basically none of them worked. But what we were trying to do was to avoid telling DEC that we couldn't meet the basic design parameters of the plant. Subsequent to that, after the 2019 year, there was a new NOV issued in March of 2020 where they cited us for violating every parameter on a discharge permit. So now they are aware that we are no longer meeting the design criteria that that plant was set up to meet. We assessed both the plant and the collection system. Clearly, as I just indicated, the plant's in failure. By and large, the collection system from our television inspection is in pretty good shape. The piping is good. There's no breaks. It doesn't look like Sewer 1 did before we lined it. There were a couple of manhole issues. There are several runs of sewer in this district that run in between the roads, between the houses in the backyards. And one of them was completely dislodged either by trees or something else, and so there was some exposure of the system there. And there's a second one that there's an issue with that I think is in the process of being resolved. It just hasn't been repaired yet. Correct. So we looked at, recognizing that the plant's in failure, we looked at two alternatives, a custom plant or a package plant. Custom plant being one that looks like Carmel Sewer District 4 or Carmel Sewer District 2 with individually, separately built tanks specifically designed to remove things. And a package plant being one that basically comes on a skid. Okay, a large skid in this instance, but it's not custom made. It's built in a factory to meet our specific design parameters or our specific effluent parameters, and then it's put on a truck and shipped here. Most of them require a building of some type. We looked at three different kinds of processes. The activated sludge process, which is a lot like what happens at Carmel Sewer District 6 or Carmel Sewer District 2, a membrane bioreactor and a moving bed bioreactor. So those are both fixed growth types of operations. We don't have one of them here, but the existing plant is a fixed growth plant, and Carmel Sewer District 4 as an RBC is a fixed growth plant, attached growth. So the processes are similar enough that the operators don't have, we don't have to make a major change for the operators to understand how to run the show. And that's one of the three reasons that we picked those types, because they fit in packages. They're operationally pretty common. They're operationally simple, and generally the operation and maintenance cost for them is low and more reasonable than it is in other more exotic types of processes. We viewed them against 5 criteria: process reliability, operational complexity and ease of maintenance, constraints of the site proper, construction costs, and then annual operating cost. We solicited proposals and sizing criteria from 2 vendors for each process, a total of 6 vendors, all of whom participated. Every one of them met the design and the process criteria. 5 of the 6 as skid-mounted types required a building to house the skid-mounted unit. And one of them is actually a buried set of unit processes, but they were really cost competitive. So the membrane, none of the extended aeration packages were cost competitive at all. The MBR, the membrane bioreactor by an organization known as Dynatech, and the moving bed bioreactor by EarthTech were both very competitive on total construction costs. They came within about $15,000 of one another. The moving bed bioreactor seems to be more economical to operate by about $3,000 a year. We ran the construction costs for those 2 facilities through the comptroller, and the 2 tables in Section 8 provide that annualized cost both for the capital and the operation and maintenance total costs. The 20-year average payment, the 20-year bond would cost at these numbers about $580 a year. The 30-year bond would be about $440. Those are both for the Dynatech plant, the lower of the 2 costs. That would go up nominally if you selected something that cost $15,000 a year or more. Originally, the report on the basis of the consent decree was signed last July 3rd by the state. So we had 12 months to deliver the report. Theoretically, it's due this Friday. I believe council negotiated a 30-day extension, so we have some grace period, but the bottom line is the consent decree requires the submission of this report and the analysis of the alternatives to replace the plant. So the suggested schedule, which, Rich, when you submit this, should be in the cover letter that goes to DEC, is that subsequent to their approval, we get 120 days to procure for design of the plant. Okay, to the actual physical design of it and the preparation of construction documents. Then from the conclusion, and that will require their approval also. Then from design, we would undertake design once you select an engineer to design the plant, and 270 days to do that. Then you would bid it, okay, and then another 270 days to construct it, because the plant is going to be, while it's a package unit, it's going to be designed for the operational and discharge parameters of this plant. So it's not sitting in a yard or on a shelf somewhere in the Midwest or in New Jersey. It's got to be built for this facility. So it's not going to be the construction period. Once you bid it and get a contractor, they have to order it, right? And then it's got to get constructed and delivered while all the site work goes.
That's accurate with respect to the original milestone date and the extension that was granted by DEC in light of the recent circumstances.
So that's the executive summary of the report. Whatever questions you have.
John, just on page 2, you had listed the construction estimates, and then you said MBR by Dynatech and MBBR by EarthTech.
Right.
We're within $15,000 of each other, correct?
Correct.
What are the differences between the two? And the reason I'm asking only is because which one is better? Because if you're looking at a $15,000 difference, but yet the second one is more economical, $3,000 a year to operate less, if you figure a 20-year lifespan, that's $60,000. So they're either going to pay it up front or they're going to pay it yearly in the maintenance, right?
True. I think my honest gut reaction to that is that the membrane bioreactor, the MBR, is a more tried and true process. It's been around longer. The MBBR offers, and is pretty common, and it offers good removals, but it just doesn't have the operational history that the membrane bioreactor systems do. The membrane bioreactors are probably, I would say, on the order of 15 to 20-year-old technology at this stage of the game. The moving bed bioreactors are in the 5 to 10 years. So you've got almost twice the operational experience and breadth of exposure with the one, which is, and that happens to be the overall lower cost.
So it's got a history.
Does. A longer history. They both do,
Longer.
but it's, the other one's longer, and I think it's a little more reliable.
John, which one do you recommend?
I think the MBR can.
MBR?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's built, that's constructed off-site, and it's brought in?
Right. So they get built on a skid. If you, they're in the report. You can see if you go through, Rich will show you tomorrow, you can look in
Yeah.
the spreadsheets that are back there, and you can actually see that it's literally a skid. It's 3 times as long as that table. It's 54 or 55 feet long. It's 8 feet wide, 12 feet tall, and that's it. It just comes on the back of it, comes on the back of a single flatbed, 53-foot long trailer.
And it's set on a pad?
It would be set on a pad with that particular unit is one of the ones that requires a building. So it goes on a concrete pad with basically we're saying a pole barn, right? Just something to house it and get some kind of temperature control inside of it so that you're not suffering. Like part of our issue with that plant that we have right now is it's outside 365 days a year, and the cold adversely affects the process.
Well, the original plant's 50 years old. So it's
You
an
know who
old-
built
it's a-
that plant?
It's an older plant. I know where the plant is, yeah.
Yeah, do you know who built it?
Who?
Lee.
Lee did?
You know who used to cut the grass there?
Question?
Been there a long
So the
time.
plant's been around a while, yeah. Yeah, I know, it's failed, or failing, and it needs to be replaced. No question about that. So this cost, John, the 559,000, that's just for the unit itself, right?
No, that's our opinion of the constructed cost. The FOB cost for that unit, right, when they put it on a trailer before shipping, Dynatech, hang on just a second. 200,000.
200,000. So the 559 is everything complete,
In place.
in place?
In place, it started.
Right.
Do we have to extend a particular building that, oh, there is no building there
building.
now?
There's a small chemical storage building, but God bless you, there's the thing that you need to house this doesn't exist.
Right, so we have to basically build a
Pour slab, right? So the good news is the construction on that site's relatively simple because we dug a couple of test holes down there just to see where the water was, where the water table was for anything we had to bury. And that sand filter is 4 or 5 feet deep. The lot looks like this deck, smooth.
just poured concrete all over.
So, the foundation conditions have to be validated during the design, but by and large, the thing is constructible as it sits.
Okay.
And then, John, with the notice of violations, since like March 2020, will they kind of hold off on them, or will they keep on giving us the notice of violations until
Well, I
it's
figured
built?
since we had a consent decree, we wouldn't see any more, but
Yeah,
but
I
Rich
think they'll
can weigh
keep
in
giving
on that.
consent, notice of violations, but Greg wants to chime
Yeah,
in on that, but
We've
they're
also
aware
gotten
of the consent
an
decree.
extension of time to respond to that, because that came in March.
Yeah,
And
right.
obviously, things changed in terms of the operations of the building and the departments. So I can't guarantee anything, but my guess is that as long as we are on schedule, compliance-wise, with the milestones and the schedule of compliance and the consent decree that was signed last July, we'll probably be in DEC's good graces, and we should be able to deal with the consent order in the process of the design and the construction of the new facility. That's my inclination on it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it took them 3.5 years to get the first consent decree in place on the ammonia violations, which is what got us to the facilities report, and it wasn't DEC chasing us. Honestly, we had proposals to resolve it within a few months, and it was just a long process for their review, comment, and revisions. So I would think that as long as we're in compliance with the consent decree here, we'll probably be able to wrap that other set of violations within this.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I remember going that, where did we go, to White Plains for the hearing?
Yes.
White Plains, I think the three of us went down there, right? Yeah.
The old Gannon building.
Back in 2016. So this has been around for a while, and we need to move forward with this to get this project, get it completed.
Okay.
But it's going to take some time, because it's got to, so what's the next step in the process, Greg or John? Design?
No, ship this to DEC.
Okay.
They need to review and approve.
Okay,
Okay, and then they need to concur with the schedule, okay, or it'll get amended in one way or the other. But once they've approved, then you procure for design, and the balance of what's in this then ticks off of that clock.
okay,
Correct.
all right. So we need a resolution, Greg,
To submit it,
submit it?
So you have a
it's
consent
part of the consent decree that you already approved by
Okay.
resolution, so you
I'll
don't
take
need
a
to do it. If in fact there's, anything that has to be amended, maybe, but not for the submission here.
Do we have to let them know which one we are selecting?
The recommendation is in here.
in here?
The recommendation for that unit is in here.
Okay, all right. Is there any more, Bob, do you have anything for John? Susie?
Nope, I'm good.
Mike? Frank? Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get it out, get it off to DEC. And then, how long do you anticipate it's going to take for them to respond?
The state?
I'll let Greg answer that question. He can
Oh,
tell you how
it took
long
them-
it
it took them
took
three-
the consent
they were
decree.
mad at us, and it took them 3 years to provide a document that says, you're in trouble, you're bad,
I will be
fix it.
very surprised if there is a substantive response to that this calendar year.
This calendar year?
It's already July.
All right,
Okay, so,
And everyone at
Substantive
DEC is still
response.
working at home for the most part.
oh, okay.
I mean, they
When I
may
deal with a
acknowledge
lot of them,
receipt of
They're
it.
still working at
but-
home.
They won't even,
I don't know,
I've
they
got
may.
three documents that were mandated by similar consent decrees that I've submitted
Nothing.
to New Paltz this year. Zero, not even an acknowledgement of receipt.
It's light.
Right, so like I said, they're working from home. The only thing that they are doing, when I've spoken to a few people at DEC, they are doing site inspections. So that goes back to Councilwoman McDonough's point of, will they issue more NOVs? Well, they're doing site inspections, and they're going to look at the information, so, yeah, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be, we don't know how they're going to be reviewing this.
Who's responsible for shipping it to DEC? John, are you going to take care of that?
I think you send
Or
the thing
Rich?
electronically. There's nobody there to receive a hard
So we're
copy.
just going
Yeah,
to
it's
send it?
gonna, I'll arrange, so since we have a 30-day notification, and it's due on Friday, the town hall is closed on Friday, I'll ship it off sometime next week. It'll get out there, or I'll even wait till the 29 days from now, but I'd rather not. I'll get it out next week.
Yeah.
And make sure that they have a copy of it, so we're at least showing them that we're moving ahead. So it'll go with a cover letter, as I've done with a lot of the DEC letters. I'll CC you on it, ECC you on it, and it'll go into your file, the supervisor's file.
And just make sure you get an acknowledgement or receipt on their end for it.
Now,
Thanks.
We'll
This
get
way
it
we're
there.
covered. They got it.
Greg, who does it need to go to? But we could talk about that. We don't need that answer now,
We
but I
talked
just.
about it right now.
Carol Krebs is who I would copy on it one way or the other.
There's a delivery
and there's
name and
change.
address in the consent order.
All right, John, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for being here. All right, Rich, thank you. That's it. All right, so that concludes the one item on the town board work session for this evening. Is it, I'm not going to ask the question, I will, but is there any members of the public that would like to come up and comment on the work session agenda item? Nope. New business, open forum? I didn't think so. All right, town board members, anybody have any announcements? Bob?
Nope.
You good?
Good.
Susie?
Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
was going
yeah.
to let you say that.
Don't play with fireworks.
Yeah, you know.
Be careful, have a good 4th of July.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, everybody have fun, enjoy, and just be careful with what you're doing out there with
Happy 4th of July.
everything. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, I just want to just speak for a minute or so about the parades. We had the two parades for our graduating seniors, graduating class of 2020. One was last Friday, went off really, really well. It was a very nice event, well attended. We had about 175 cars with because there was more than one senior in a couple of the cars. So we probably had about 185, 190 seniors that participated in the Mayapack Senior Parade. So it went off very well. I want to thank all those who were participated in that, who were, the Mayapack Fire Department was there, and the Mayapack Falls Fire Department. We had a horse and buggy from the Rock Hill Farm up in Pauling and Brewster. They brought their draft horses down, which was very, very nice. It was a nice added touch to the parade. So that went off really, really well. And Carmel's parade was the following day, Saturday. It rained up until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. We didn't know if we were going to be able to get the parade in, but then the weather gods cooperated with us, and they shut the rain off, and it stopped raining about 4:30, so we were able to get the parade in. So same thing, Carmel Fire Department helped us out up there. They were the escort for the parade, and we had, again, the horses, draft horses from Rock Hill with a buggy in that, and the ram, the Carmel Ram, actually rode in the back of the wagon. It was pulled by the horses, so it was really nice. It was a nice touch, and everybody had a great time. The seniors loved it. A lot of smiles on their faces, and the families really enjoyed themselves, so it was great, both Friday and Saturday. So that was my minute. I'm done. Frank, did you want to add anything to it?
Nope.
Yeah, your daughter graduated, so congratulations, Frank. And Bob, your son graduated from Carmel High School. So all the best of luck in their college experience.
Kenny, I did hear from some parents at both parades who said that the parade was just as good, if not better, than the graduation ceremony itself.
I heard the same.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I did hear what you said.
Pay attention.
Yeah, that the parades were actually better. than the
Yeah.
gra-
As good as,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Kenny, I just want to thank you for everything that you did to organize these. It was really nice, and like Frank
Thanks.
said, they're going to expect it every year now.
Yeah, I know they
So,
are. I know.
clean your calendar.
I will tell you, it was a tremendous amount of work. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of communicating between the school districts and everyone who was involved. It was exhausting, but it was worth every second of it. I enjoyed every second of it, and I know they did, and I'm not going to say that we're going to do it again, because I don't know if that's the case or not, because it involves so much. But, hopefully next year we'll be back on a regular schedule where graduations can be held the normal way. Yeah, I know I went over. So that's it. The meeting's over for tonight. We're meeting next, is it the 8th? Yeah, next Wednesday, July 8th. Town Board's meeting for a Town Board work session. All right. Yeah. Need a motion to close? Motion to close, so moved by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Shannon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Be
Good night.
well. See you on
Good night.
July 8th for a work session.
Happy
Be
4th of
well.
July.
Enjoy your 4th.